The ball walk into Neyland Stadium in Knoxville about 2 hours ago. Derek Dooley's Volunteers in desperation mode in search of a conference win. Problem number one is Nick Saban's #1 ranked Crimson Tide. So far, flawless with their execution en route to a perfect record here at midseason. Simply known as the third Saturday in October. As Tennessee honors a legend and a team from 15 years ago, they hope their current star can pull an upset today. The Vols, the Tide, Tennessee, and Alabama next. We welcome you to ESPN's College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton Hotels. It's the SEC on ESPN, and our matchup from Knoxville. The #1 team in the country, the Crimson Tide of Alabama, getting together with the Vols of Tennessee for the 95th time. Welcome to Knoxville, everybody. Brad Nessler along with Todd Blackledge. Here they are, the consensus #1 in the BCS, the Crimson Tide of Alabama. They've won 10 in a row, Todd. They're beating people by 33 points a game. They're the defending national champs. Are they as good as last year?
Well, I don't think you can lose 5 guys in the first 35 picks of the NFL draft and not have a little bit of a drop-off in talent. They still got a lot of good players. They're very well coached and well disciplined. They take care of the ball, and they know how to win. They're ranked #1, and deservedly so.
Well, Tennessee is a team that can put points up, as they scored 31 points at least in every game. Are they the best, maybe, that Alabama's seen so far?
They're absolutely the best offense, best offensive line that Alabama has seen. And you know what? Big-time players make big plays in big games. And for Tennessee, that means quarterback Tyler Bray and wide receivers Justin Hunter and Cordero Patterson have to step up. They've had good numbers, but they haven't played as well in SEC games as they have in non-conference games. They're going to put big boy pants on tonight and play big.
All right, they haven't beaten a #1 team, Tennessee, since 1985. They're open tonight is their night. And here come the Volunteers. This one should be fun. Top-ranked Alabama rolling into Neyland. Can they stay perfect? We find out tonight. What a run! About 107,000 packed into Neyland Stadium for Alabama and Tennessee as we check into the third member of our team, Holly Rowe. Holly.
Well, Alabama and Tennessee have 2 of the best quarterbacks in the country, let alone the SEC. Tyler Bray of Tennessee, A.J. McCarron of Alabama greeted each other and actually had similar paths to get to this game. Both suffered slight knee injuries last week in their games. Tyler Bray was shaken up against Mississippi State. His left knee was injured. For A.J. McCarron against Missouri late in the third quarter, he took a hard hit, twisted up that knee, and they're calling it a bone bruise on his right knee. Now, both guys were fitted for braces. Tyler Bray has a custom brace. He's been practicing in it all week. His offensive coordinator said he looks comfortable in it. And I watched A.J. McCarron all through warm-ups. He was pivoting, dropping back. Both guys look like they're ready to play tonight.
All right, Holly, thanks. Nick Saban in his 6th year as a head coach at Alabama. Derek Dooley, who worked under Nick at LSU and with the Miami Dolphins on the crutches after hip surgery, but he's working from the sideline tonight after being in the booth a week ago.
Yeah, he felt it was important for him to look in his players' eyes. He thought they were a little out of whack in the first half last week at Mississippi State, and he did not like being in the booth at all either.
Tennessee won the toss, and they want the football. So Alabama to kick. Cade Foster's got it teed up. Cordero Patterson, oh so dangerous, back there with Deveron Young. Patterson had a kick return for a touchdown last week. He'll get to handle this one about 5 yards deep, and he will not bring it out. Tyler Bray will come out to the 25. This guy can throw it around with the best of them.
He really can. He has a tremendous arm talent. He can make all the throws you need. He can make them from a lot of different body angles. The biggest thing for him is to stay focused for 60 minutes. He's got to stay in that zone because he can make the plays. His offensive line has been outstanding, only allowed 3 sacks, and he has weapons on the outside in Hunter and Patterson that are as good as anybody in the country.
Both those guys are to the right side, right there. And Marlon Lane starts at tailback with Rajon Neal out with an injury. And he gets the call. And picked up about 3 as we take a look at our impact players brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Marlon Lane's going to have to be one of them. With Neal not in there, he's got to carry the load. Cordero Patterson, so dangerous as a receiver and a return man. And on the other side, A.J. Johnson coming off a huge game last week and a loss to Mississippi State, but he had over 20 tackles. Play action. Bray floats it out, completes. Got it to the fullback, but he's shy of the first down. It's going to be 3rd down and about 3.
3rd down, but a very manageable distance for Tennessee on their first 3rd down play of the game. Alabama always under Nick Saban very good on 3rd down. 27% they're holding their opponents to, but 3rd and 3 gives Tennessee a lot of options.
3 wideouts for Bray. Will be in the shotgun. Fires far side, too high for Justin Hunter. Hunter had a step over there. Tennessee's got a kick.
This is an area where Tennessee has to be really efficient tonight. We talked about their big-time players stepping up. Special teams have to be solid. They have to make Alabama work a long field as much as possible. No bad punts, no breakdowns in protection. They've got to be really sound in their kicking game as well.
You look behind Pilardi, who'll punt. Cyrus Jones waits back on the other end. Jones camps under this one at the 24. Made the first man miss, but not the second. Nice coverage by Tennessee. A.J. Johnson down on special teams making the stop. From one A.J. to another. As McCarron hasn't thrown an interception this year. When you get to midseason and you got a 0 in the INT column, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and the last 3 games of last year. I mean, he's working on 9 games. This will be the 10th game going into without an interception. And part of it is their style. They play ahead of the chains because they run the ball so well. The best offensive line in college football, and he is very efficient in their passing game.
Career-wise, he averages an interception every 101 passes. Here's Eddie Lacy on the first carry. Tennessee there to meet him. No gain. As we take a look at our impact players on the Alabama side, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. And Lacy's one of them, coming off a huge game last week. Barrett Jones, Outland Trophy winner from a year ago. Now he's playing center. That means the line, as Todd said, is pretty darn good. And C.J. Mosley all over the field defensively for Alabama. There's Jones, the anchor at center. Trips to the top of your screen. And now Lacy comes back in motion into the backfield on 2nd down and 10. McCarron pressured. Throws on a run, and he got a short completion out to the 32, maybe the 33-yard line.
Tennessee's defensive coordinator, first year, Sal Sinceri, was the linebacker coach at Alabama the last few years before this. He's tried to install a similar defensive system, but what he's learned through the first part of this season and a half is, you know what, it doesn't matter how much he knows about the system. What matters is how much can the kids process and play fast with, and he's had to simplify over the last few weeks.
They'd love to get an opening stop here on Alabama's first possession. Empty backfield for McCarron on 3rd down and 4. McCarron, pocket collapsing a little bit again. He's just going to throw it away.
I talked to Sal on the field right before the game, and he said, you know what we're selling to our kids is this is going to be a 15-round heavyweight boxing match. And if we get a stop, that's a win. We won a round, and then we got to get ready to go out and play the next round. They've had their struggles on defense. Their numbers are ugly. That's a great way to start the ball game.
You can tell Sal is old school because fights don't go 15 rounds anymore. 12's the limit. Alabama to punt. Tony Mandel Devin Young on the other end. He's going to have to chase this one to the far side, and he'll have to let it bounce. Goes out of bounds. And not too much in the exchange of kicks, as line of scrimmage is going to be the 28-yard line for Tennessee. Their second possession on offense coming up. Bray and company when we come back.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
So far, just an exchange of punts between Alabama and Tennessee in the first 3 minutes here in Knoxville. Tyler Bray will be in the shotgun with both Hunter and Patterson to the near side. Devin Young gets a carry. And the little guy gets out to the 30-yard line.
I think Jim Chaney, the offensive coordinator for Tennessee, is one of the best in the business as a play caller. He really does a nice job, and this offense is very well balanced. And you say, okay, well, they only gained 2 yards or 3 yards in those runs. He's going to keep running the football to keep Alabama honest.
Bray pressured, and he throws this one away. Damian Square was applying the heat on Tyler Bray, and he has to pick himself up.
You know, when you hear about an offensive line only allowing 3 sacks through 6 games, you know, they deserve credit, but it's also the quarterback. That's a case of a quarterback throwing the ball away to avoid a sack. And so that lack of a sack is due to Tyler Bray.
That sack is number 3 in the country and fewest in the SEC. 3rd down and 8. Quick throw this time. Intended for Patterson on a slant, and it's incomplete.
You know, Jim Chaney told us something about Patterson, as talented as he is. And I mean, when he gets the ball in his hands, he's as good as anybody in the country. But he said he's still not quite in sync in the passing game. And Tyler Bray doesn't have complete trust in him yet in his route running.
Right.
Justin Hunter, he has complete faith in. And that was a route where Patterson looked like he kind of stopped thinking there was going to be a penalty instead of carrying out the route.
So another 3 and out for Tennessee. And Pilardi to kick again. High snap. Jones fields this one at the 21. Heading to the far side. If he gets a block, he's got the corner. Cross midfield before they can run him out of bounds. All the way to the 47-yard line. 50-yard punt, but a 33-yard return. So Alabama in Tennessee territory with their second offensive possession when we return.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Hampton Hotels. Feel the Hamptonality.
Tennessee and Alabama got together, the women's rugby squad today. UT won 49-5. A little lopsided. Right now, short field here for Alabama, Todd.
And a good chance to take a shot. And this would be the guy right here. Their leading receiver, Amari Cooper. He's a freshman out of Miami, but he has been their most explosive wide receiver to this point. They had a lot of time during the timeout and the change of possessions to set up exactly what they wanted here on first down.
From the 47, following the long punt return, Lacey, only a yard maybe. Herman Lathers, one of the first to meet him from the linebacking corps.
The key to tackling these backs of Alabama, whether it be Lacey or whether it be Yeldon, they're both big, physical, hard runners, is you got to get their momentum stopped, and then you got to get their hips changed and a different direction. And they've been able to do that so far. You can't let those guys get a full head of steam because they run too physically.
2nd down, 8, just outside the 45. They fake the stretch play. McCarron on the bootleg throws on the run, and he throws a strike complete. It's a first down to Amari Cooper, the freshman, and a pickup of 12.
Missed tackle by Prentice Wagner after the catch. You know, that's been a problem for this Tennessee defense, is poor tackling. They get the catch. If he makes the tackle there, it's 3rd and short. Instead, a whiff and a first down for Alabama.
Cooper's first catch of the night is 22nd of the year, which leads Alabama. And a first down of the game. Now a little confusion on Tennessee's defense. Looks like they get everybody set. in a pistol set. McCarron gives it off to Lacey. And Lacey, tough three again. Justin Coleman came up to help on the stop. Tennessee was a little worried about Kurt Magid, one of their outside linebackers. He's been banged up. He started tonight, but they don't know how many snaps he can go.
He's got a stinger issue with his shoulder, which means you just don't know how many plays he can go. And then if he does get it dinged a little bit, he might have to come out for a series or two. But he is a physical presence and a guy that is a big addition to their defense if he can play.
Blake Sims is going to take the snap here at quarterback. Straight ahead. Tough couple of yards. A.J. Johnson, the middle linebacker, in on the stop.
So far, the encouraging thing for the Tennessee defense. Now, think about this. Coming into the game versus SEC opponents, they've been giving up an average of 6 yards per carry, which is worse than the league. Tonight, they look like they're in the right spots, and they're beating some blocks, and they're playing fundamentally sound. They've got to keep that up on this third down play.
See if they can get a third down stop. Third down at 5. McCarron in the shotgun. Throws complete, and it's going to be a first down to Michael Williams, the tight end, right on the line. I might have to look at this one, but I think he got the first down.
Well, that's what you see. What's really good, I think, about A.J. McCarron. He has a great feel for the game and an awareness. You know, he's not a quarterback that's going to extend plays with his legs and create plays, but he gets back in his drop and he knows where he wants to go with the football very quickly.
So Alabama's moved it to the 23-yard line of Tennessee. Remember, they started this drive at the 47 after the punt return. Play action. McCarron's going to take a shot to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown. Amari Cooper wide open. That was too easy.
Yeah, and for some reason, the corner who was outside went to the inside receiver. Watch this corner move inside and leave Amari Cooper outside by himself. I mean, that is a breakdown in coverage. And for South Sinceri's defense, an easy touchdown they give up, and you just can't do that against the #1 team in the country.
Shelley in for the point after. 47-yard drive. The short field paid off, didn't it? Yep. Only 6 plays, a little over 3 minutes. And A.J. McCarron, his 13th touchdown pass of the year. A wide open Amari Cooper waiting on that end. 7-0 Alabama. How dominant has Alabama been in the first quarter this year? How about 90-0?
Well, they take advantage of any mistake and field position. Alabama just ran 3 verticals. That's all they did. It wasn't a tricky route. And somewhere along the lines, one of these 2 guys made a mistake. Because what happened was the outside corner, Wagner, went in, and nobody stayed deep and outside with Amari Cooper. I mean, that's a breakdown somewhere in that defensive backfield. And again, when you're playing a team as good as Alabama that doesn't beat themselves, you can't give them gifts like that for points.
Here's a guy that can change a game in a second or in 10 seconds as a kick returner. Last time, though, he had to take a knee 5 yards deep. This time he's lined up with Deveron Young. They're trying to disguise which way they're going to split out. So the kicker, Foster, doesn't know where to aim it.
That's returnable there.
It is. Cordero Patterson from the 8. Oh, and he runs into a wall at the 20. Nothing doing, says the Alabama special teams. Yeah, with one of the best recruiting classes in the nation, John Calipari's Wildcats reloaded, set to defend their national championship. Don't miss our exclusive multi-part series coverage at one of the top basketball programs in the country. Kentucky All Access, Wednesday at 7 Eastern on ESPN. Tyler Bray now 3rd offensive possession. They haven't gotten the first down yet.
And they need to get the ball to Justin Hunter in this possession. They got to get him the ball now and get him involved in what they're doing offensively.
End around to Patterson. Puts the brakes on. Gets right back in the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Well played by Adrian Hubbard. Kind of the outside linebacker, number 42. Maintained leverage. Watch Hubbard just hold his ground out here and force Patterson back inside. He knows the speed of Patterson. He doesn't allow him to get outside. Forces him back in where he's got help.
Jim Chaney told us yesterday Patterson's got to touch it about a dozen times, and so does Justin Hunter. And as Todd just said, Hunter hasn't yet. Draw play to Lane. A little bit of room that time, finally. Goes out for 7 or 8 yards. Tough to do against the Alabama defense.
Well, this Alabama defense coming into the game holding their opponents to 55 yards a game rushing. Tennessee's offense, on the other hand, coming in averaging 183 yards a game rushing, which is almost 100 yards better than they did last year. I mean, this offensive line has made dramatic improvement from 2011 to 2012.
That was Kirby Smart, the defensive coordinator for Alabama. You saw on the sideline. And another thing Jim Chaney said, we would like to go hurry up so Kirby can't get all his guys where he wants them. Third down. First down for Tennessee now. Lane broke a tackle down the sideline. Marlon Lane. Tennessee and Alabama territory for the first time. Pickup of 26.
Well, we saw a little mix-up in the coverage for Tennessee on the touchdown. This was a little mix-up on Alabama. Nobody got outside to pick up Lane coming out of the backfield, and a missed tackle by Milner, their best corner. Big play for Tennessee.
Now they do hurry up from the 47. Lane busts his way off tackle, and he drags some guys with him for about 5.
Let me talk about this tempo real quick. Alabama, Nick Saban and Kirby Smart, they like to change personnel all the time and try to make the perfect call to stop every play. They don't concede any play that the offense runs. If you go hurry up, it makes them simplify, keep guys on the field, takes them out of the game a little bit.
Deveron Young, inside run, got him within a yard of the first down marker. It's going to bring up 3rd and short.
See, this is a problem area, particularly with the absence of Rajon Neal. He's their most physical back. Lane is not a big guy. Deveron Young is not a big guy. Sometimes they've gone to a wildcat and put their linebacker, A.J. Johnson, as the quarterback. I think he's in there now.
He is.
On this 3rd and short play. They don't really have a power running back, so they've had to try to be creative.
We saw A.J. score a touchdown in this formation earlier this season. High snap on 3rd and 1. He blasts his way in there, and he's got it. And he's still stretching it out. First down run for the captain of the defense playing offense.
Love to see the effort, love to see the energy. You got to be careful fighting for those extra yards when you're not used to carrying the football, though, against a defense like Alabama. They overload that side. He knows he only needs 1 yard. That's a good, hard, tough run by A.J. Johnson.
So now back to the regular personnel after they pick up the first down at the Alabama 34-yard line.
Again, Justin Hunter has not seen the ball yet.
7th play of the Volunteer drive. Blitz coming. Bray going deep. Patterson's got it at the 10. 1st and goal, Tennessee.
Beautiful throw over the outside shoulder. Almost impossible to defend against man coverage. That's pretty good coverage by the safety Lester, but a perfect throw by Bray.
1st and goal, Volunteers at the Alabama 9-yard line. Pistol set here. And a handoff to Lane. Puts his head down and got a yard. Adrian Hubbard, the outside linebacker, made first contact. 5 minutes remaining in the quarter. Tennessee threatening, Alabama leading by 7.
Again, they get into that part of the field where Jim Chaney has to be creative because they don't have a dominant power running back. And so they've got to look for different ways. Might even try to see if they can get the ball to Patterson as a runner. There he is as the tailback right now.
Tailback in the eye. The toss is to him. He dropped the ball. Covered it, but it's way back at the 14-yard line. And he says, that's my fault. And it was.
Took his eyes off the ball and tried to put him on the defense too quickly.
There's Rajon Neal. Their leading rusher. Not in the game tonight.
See, they put Patterson in the eye last week against Mississippi State and did that. Tossed it to him, and it was a beautiful run for about 12 yards and a first down. That time, he just got a little bit ahead of himself.
Now it's 3rd and goal, but it's back at the 14-yard line. Justin Hunter is the slot man to the top of your screen.
I like that because he's working on a safety and not a corner.
Run to the corner. Hunter can't get it. Ended up in double coverage over there and almost came down with a touchdown.
Make that triple coverage because Milner, the corner, was reading the quarterback. Watch him drift back. He left his man, the tight end Rivera, went to help Lester. They kind of baited Tyler Bray into that throw.
So they're going to have to settle for a field goal attempt. And that means Michael Pilardi, 3 out of 4 on the year. His longest from 38. They've had some issues with their kickers, especially on extra points, quite frankly. 32-yard attempts, and it's good. So Tennessee got down there to a 1st and goal. They had to settle for 3. Good ball game, though, here in the first quarter. Didn't get a touchdown, but they did get a 32-yard field goal, a 65-yard drive, and 11 plays. 4 minutes and 40 seconds for the Vols to get on the board. Good looking drive, though.
Yeah, good looking drive. They're mixing run and pass enough to keep this Alabama defense. It's ranked #1 in every major category, honest. And they're hanging right in there. You know, last year when these teams played in Tuscaloosa, it was 6-6 at halftime. Alabama scored 21 in the 3rd quarter, ended up winning the game 37-6, but it was close for the first half.
Again, if you're just joining us, Derek Dooley on the sideline tonight after coaching from the box last week after hip surgery. A fracture in his hip. Pilardi's kick deep and will not be returned. 3:38 remaining first quarter here. Let's check in with Reese Davis for the first time. Reese.
All right, Brad, Taco Bell studio update. What a great game in Fort Worth. Triple overtime between Texas Tech and TCU. Seth Dagey to Alex Torres. That's the game winner. 56-53. Texas Tech now 6-1.
Red Raiders in another shootout. We got a penalty marker down here. First penalty of the game. Our referee Penn Wagers has a word with Coach Saban before the call.
Offside, 47 on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So they'll start at the 30-yard line with the penalty. 2 national championships at Alabama, 1 at LSU. Nobody else can make that claim in college football.
How about his record at Alabama? 2 SEC West championships, 1 SEC title, but 2 national championships.
Yep.
I think they'll take that, right?
I think so. 10-game winning streak, #1 team in the country. They've got the lead here, 3:38 remaining first quarter on the road at Neyland Stadium. DJ Yeldon in the backfield for the first time for the Tide, the freshman. They fake it to him. McCarron wanting to throw. Pockets collapsing down the middle and tipped in. Incomplete. Kevin Norwood got a hand on it, but pretty good coverage back there by Prentice Wagner.
Yeah, really good coverage by Wagner. That was a long developing play, deep crossing route, and Wagner undercut it and got a hand on the football.
Second down at 10. Christian Jones in as a 3rd wide receiver for the Tide.
We're down for screen here for Alabama.
McCarron. And now gets under center and says, Barrett, let me have it. Stretch play. Yeldon. Maybe a yard. That's it. It'll be 3rd down and long. Maurice Couch, I think his helmet came off. And that'll put him out of one play. And he's hustling to the sideline right now.
One of the guys that's coming in there now is a little different player. I think Salisbury is in, number 96. Traveris Salisbury is a young redshirt freshman. He's a little bigger guy rushing off the edge.
Third down and 9 for Alabama. McCarron throws outside and throws a strike to Amari Cooper. Put it right where he had to. That's Cooper's second catch and a first down, a pickup of 11 on 3rd and 9.
Perfect timing and thrown to the right spot. You throw the outs out, a little bit of a slip by Justin Coleman, and that was all that A.J. McCarron needed, that separation to get the first down.
Cooper, you can see, just getting better every week at wide receiver. First down at the 42. Corner blitz might be coming. The run goes the other way. Yeldon, and he drags some Volunteers with him for about 5. Still on his feet, but they're going to spot it out at the 47.
Last week on a soggy field in Columbia, Missouri, Alabama ran the ball 42 times, 370 yards, 177 for the starter, Eddie Lacy. Yeldon had 144 yards. They combined for 5 touchdowns. I mean, they just pounded Missouri last week.
Yeldon stays in there flanking McCarron in the shotgun. 2nd and 5. McCarron, the quick throw completes, and it's another first down. Kevin Norwood out to midfield.
The thing I like about A.J. McCarron right now is, I mean, he is just taking, you know, it sounds like a cliche when you say a quarterback, just take what the defense gives you. Little nickel and dime things. Get the ball out quick, hit spots, throw to zones, and then when they give you a chance to make a big throw, like he did with Cooper, he got the touchdown. 6 of 8 to start the football game.
Got 4 wideouts for him here on a first down at the Tennessee 45. He is directing traffic out there, A.J. McCarron. Something that would make Peyton Manning proud. Peyton's here tonight, part of the 97 SEC title team. McCarron flushed out of the pocket this time, and he'll run for what he can. Only got a couple before he hit the deck.
You know, Alabama has a new offensive coordinator this year. Doug Nussmeier came from the University of Washington, replaced Jim McElwain, who took the head coaching job at Colorado State. And, you know, he was the only new offensive assistant, so he didn't really change the system. I mean, he pretty much said, I'll learn the new system, the new terminology, and I'll make the adjustments. And I think it's been a smooth transition for A.J. McCarron.
Yeah, the system that was there was working pretty good.
Pretty good.
2nd down and 8. Little different look with a tight end flanked to the right side. He's going to be the lead blocker for Yeldon. Yeldon gets inside the 40 to the 39. And that might bring the quarter to a close. There's Peyton. Weekend off from the Denver Broncos. So a chance to get together with his old teammates from the 97 team that won the SEC title. And obviously in the ring of honor here. And a street that's been named for him for several years. Got a new checkerboard look yesterday. And that was unveiled here in Knoxville. We played one. Good one. The SEC on ESPN. The end of the first quarter. Alabama leading 7-3. Neyland Stadium in Knoxville all lit up for Alabama and Tennessee. 7-3 as we start the second quarter. Alabama hasn't trailed at the end of a regulation quarter since 2010. That is just crazy. 81 quarters. Well, they don't trail now either. But Tennessee is in the game. 7-3. Lacy back into the Alabama backfield. 3rd down and 3 for the Tide to open quarter number 2. And it's Lacy on the carry. And he cuts it outside. He's got the first down and about 5 more.
Well, we talk about this offensive line. This is Anthony Steen, the right guard, who's going to get the key block. Watch him pull out and seal the edge on the run by Lacy. He gets out, seals the corner, and that allows Lacy to get it up in there for the first down. And again, another missed tackle on the outside by Justin Coleman. They just add up. You know, it's just extra yardage. Instead of a gain of 3 or 4, it becomes a gain of 6 or 7.
And a first down at the 31. 2 tight ends. 9th play of the Tide drive here. Play clock winding down. They get it off just in time, and it's Lacey. And Lacey blasts through the Tennessee defense for about 4 more. You know, it's just like watching Alabama. First it was Mark Ingram, then it was Trent Richardson. Now it's Lacey or Yeldon. I mean, they just keep pounding you.
They keep pounding you, and they do it behind the best offensive line in college football. And the leader of that line is Barrett Jones, the center. I mean, how good is this offensive line? Barrett Jones was the Outland Trophy winner last year, the starter at left tackle. They moved him to center this year because the youngster Cyrus Kwanjo at left tackle is going to be an eventual first-round draft pick. Jones can play anywhere on that offensive line.
And has over his career in Tuscaloosa. Second down at 6. McCarron throws near side, incomplete, intended for Christian Jones. And Eric Gordon was in coverage over there. Brings up third down and 6.
Big third down play here. One of the guys that has been able to get a little pressure on A.J. McCarron so far in the ball game. Darrington Centimore, number 94, began his career at Alabama. Comes into this game highly motivated, obviously. See if he can get some pressure on this one.
He's had a few things to say about that motivation this week, too. We'll develop that as we go. Third down and 6. Here comes a blitz on McCarron. Throw to the outside is incomplete. Amari Cooper, the intended receiver. And Justin Coleman was covering. Talk about Centimore. So some of the things he had to say this week. It's his personality, talking about Coach Saban. It's like some players that see you in the hallway and walk right past you and don't even see you. Like, stuff like that I don't like. I'm not going to lie to you. I want this game more than any other game because I want to beat Saban. Well, young guys say things they probably would like to have back sometimes. Cade Foster will try a long field goal. Kick on the way, and it's no good. Missed from 44.
Ding, ding, ding. Another round 1 for the Tennessee.
There you go. And they're feeling it. Centimore showing his emotions. They hold the tide. The score remains the same. Missed field goal. Tennessee takes over, trailing 7-3. They'll have the ball at their own 27-yard line.
So far on first down, Tennessee's had 6 plays. They've run it 5 times, only thrown it once. Coming into the game, they've averaged over 7.5 yards per first down play, and they still have not gotten a completion to Justin Hunter yet. 16 offensive plays, only thrown at him 1 time.
Tyler Bray pressured, hit from behind, but he got the pass away. Almost intercepted. And they were aiming that one at the guy that Todd's talking about, Justin Hunter. And Jim Chaney told us yesterday, we got to get it to number 11, because if he doesn't get it, sometimes his head starts kind of, it looked like he's not like he's pouting, but he doesn't get into the game too much.
Well, you know what? I've seen a lot of NFL receivers that are like that too. You know, if you don't get them the ball early in the game, they kind of go into a shell a little bit. At least that time they took a shot. Just a good call by Kirby Smart to bring pressure on first down. We got to call timeout here. A little mix up on personnel receiver-wise.
As Hunter came out, we'll take the timeout as well as they straighten things out. 13-17 remaining first half, 7-3 Alabama.
ESPN College Football Primetime, brought to you by BMW. We only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine.
Big crowd out yesterday, officially the street that was named after Peyton Manning 14 years ago, but rededicated, painted like the end zones here now. Peyton Manning pass that leads in to the ball walk and then into Neyland Stadium here in Knoxville. 97 team here tonight, all his teammates with him. Those guys, big group down on the field with Philip Fulmer, their coach, who's going into the College Football Hall of Fame. Tyler Bray, high pass, incomplete, intended for Patterson. D. Miller was covering. Right now, Bray's only 3 out of 9.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's in a very good rhythm. Now, Alabama's defense has a lot to do with that. I mean, they're getting pressure on him. They've not knocked him down, but they're getting enough pressure on him to make him uncomfortable, and that's what's called affecting the quarterback. And anytime you talk to Kirby Smart, that's the first thing he says they have to do.
Have to earn this third down. 3rd and 10. Fires, and it is intercepted. C.J. Mosley, one of our impact players, with the first turnover of the ball game.
C.J. Mosley is the most dynamic player on this defense. He never comes off the field. Watch him drop back and read the eyes of the quarterback. He reads the quarterback the whole way, and then the diving interception, and I'm not sure where Tyler Bray was throwing that football. The ball.
Marlon Lane looked like he was running the wrong way, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure where he was going with that one. But again, a short field for Alabama off a mistake.
Bray maybe doesn't know where he was going with that one, but C.J. Mosley knew where it was going.
The 12th interception for this Alabama defense.
Look what they do with turnovers. They turn them into points. They'll try to do that here. First down at the Volunteer 32. Straight up the gut is Yeldon. Got 8 as we check in with Reese Davis.
All right, time now for an Internet Explorer quick highlight. And Colin Klein in Morgantown is eating up West Virginia. To Tyler Lockett here for the score. And the Wizard, Bill Snyder, has his team up 17 goose early in the second quarter.
All right, Reese, keep us posted. Second down at 2 here. Number 1 Alabama leading this one 7-3 and trying to take advantage of a C.J. Mosley interception a moment ago. They keep it on the ground. Yeldon's got the first down. Pick up a 4 to the 20.
And just go back to that interception by Mosley. I mean, this defense, we talked about what they lost. I mean, they lost 3 first-round draft picks, a second-round draft pick in Courtney Upshaw. They had 2 other guys off the defense that were drafted and are still in NFL rosters. But the one thing they've done better this year than last year through the first 6.5 games now is interceptions and forced turnovers. They're playing at a much higher level in terms of creating turnovers.
Mosley, the reigning SEC Defensive Player of the Week, had 12 tackles, a sack, and a fumble recovery last week in the win over Missouri. So another big play here in the first half tonight. Yeldon wraps both arms around the football and heads toward the end zone. Just shy of the goal line. 19-yard romp right up the middle.
When I talked to Nick Saban about Yeldon, the thing he said, he says he's a big guy and he's fast, but he has really quick feet and can make people miss, which is unusual for a guy who's that big to make people miss like that. But he moves his feet quickly in the hole and he makes people miss and almost gets a touchdown.
And you saw 2 of those moves to get it down to the 1-yard line. Jesse Williams in as the lead blocker. First and goal, Alabama. Yeldon in, touchdown, Crimson Tide, a 1-yard plunge. So they do take advantage of the interception, and Alabama runs it out to 13-3 with the extra point coming up.
They just don't beat themselves. I mean, you know, when you watch them play, they just wear you down because as soon as you make a mistake, whether it's poor coverage on a punt return, whether it's a turnover in your own territory, they take advantage and they wear on you.
Extra point is blocked. So it's 13-3. But they do get 6 points out of the C.J. Mosley interception, his second of the year. Diving grab there, then Yeldon did the rest of the work. 19 yards to the 1 and then 1 yard to the end zone. Welcome back. College football primetime presented by Hampton Hotels. 13-3, not 14-3 because of the hold of A.J. McCarron on the extra point by Shelley. This one comes out, and this is kind of one of those Tony Romo holds. So Shelley just tries to kick it off the ground. That doesn't work too well.
I used to do that on purpose in practice because I didn't want to be a holder. But you don't want to do it in the game if you're the number 1 holder.
And you love kickers so much anyway. Yeldon did most of that work, though, after the interception by Mosley. 32 yards. Just took him 4 plays to get the touchdown.
Now, we talked about the big guys and the big-time players for Tennessee needing to step up. It's time for Tyler Bray to step up. He's 3 of 10 with the interception. He's played a lot of ball. He's got a lot of maturity about his game. He just needs to shake that last throw off and get hot. He's got to get into a rhythm and make some plays.
Got to get it to Hunter or Patterson. We know Patterson can handle it as a kick return guy. Very dangerous. They've been held in check so far here in the first half tonight, though. He's going to take a shot at this one. No, he won't. Thought about it. And he'll take a knee. We'll bring it out to the 25, and we'll take it out to Reese Davis. Reese.
Brad, we're going to find out if Georgia can stand some prosperity. The Dogs got great news when South Carolina lost to Florida, but at Kentucky, a little trickeration. DeMarco Robinson, the throwback to the freshman quarterback, Jalen Whitlow. He took it to the doorstep. Cats went on to score. They're up still on number 11, Georgia, 14-13 in the second.
Georgia trying to get the taste out of their mouth from the whipping they got from South Carolina in their last game. South Carolina felt it today against Florida. Tennessee here against number 1 Alabama. Marlon Lane, best run of the night so far, goes for 9.
Well, I love the way he finished the run. You know, he got in there, he got those pads down, and watch how he finishes the run. Runs right behind Bartholomew as fullback, and then runs right over the safety, Lester, for about 3 more yards.
Justin King, freshman in there. Now the carry. Justin King got the first down.
Got a penalty flag down, though.
Justin King, carry.
And Wagers
They take the penalty because it'll be 5 yards. It looks like they only gained maybe 2.5, 3 yards on the run.
Yep.
Offside, 3 on the defense. 5-yard penalty, previous spot, results in a first down.
Billy Sunseri, the son of Tennessee's defensive coordinator.
Well, again, maybe a time right now for Jim Chaney to dial up a play to try to get the ball to Justin Hunter. Something to get him involved in the offense. He's right here in the slot.
Alabama showing blitz. They're going to come with it. Lane, a couple tough yards, maybe 3. Ha-ha, Clinton Dix made the tackle. Volunteers, as Todd said, so much better rushing the football, running the football this year than a year ago. Almost double what they did a year ago per game. Come in with an average of 183 per game. Bartholomew, the up man in the eye here. With Lane, the tailback. They toss it to him. And got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Play that LSU uses a lot, used a lot today in their win. Lane comes out. 3 wide receiver group here for Tyler Bray.
Try to find the best matchup. Is it Hunter? Is it your tight end Rivera? Is it Patterson? Work a matchup.
On 3rd and 8, it's a screen pass to Young, and Alabama blows it up. C.J. Mosley, who else?
He is definitely the leader of the defense. I mean, he is an instinctive player, a quick twitch, explosive player, and he reads the screen, and they're not able to get a block on him before he gets to Young.
So Pilardi has got a punt, and Cyrus Jones will drop back deep for Alabama. Under 9 minutes remaining in the half. Alabama by 10. Jones has a look, takes it at the 15. Nice move on the first man, and now here he goes. Flags are down. Cyrus Jones, though, all the way to midfield before they can drag him down. Again, we'll wait and see on the penalty. It was a 35-yard punt return. His second big play of the night in that capacity, if it holds.
Again, the importance of not giving Alabama's offense a short field to work. It happened on a turnover, and if this play holds up, it would be the second time on a punt return that Alabama starts the ball in Tennessee territory.
during the return of the kick. Holding. Number 21 on the receiving team. 10-yard penalty. Spot of the foul.
Tennessee gets a break there. Instead of at midfield, they'll bring it all the way back to the 28-yard line.
Prior to that, the average starting field position for Alabama has been on the 45 compared to the 21 for Tennessee. Can't do that against the #1 team in the country.
Let's take a look at how Alabama is finding success tonight. Brought to you by Expedia. Finding success defensively with C.J. Mosley. The interception that gave him a short field. Finding success with T.J. Yeldon running down to the 1-yard line and then finding the end zone successfully from a yard out. And that's where they are right now, even though they missed the extra point, up by 10, and they've got the football back at the 28. See Eddie Lacy back in there flanking A.J. McCarron in the shotgun with 8:40 remaining first half. Lacy gets the call, following his blockers out wide. Tennessee stretches it out and stops him at the 31-yard line.
We talked about the offensive line. We talked about Lacy, how hard he runs, and Yeldon coming into the game. I mean, designed runs 36 times a game, averaging over 6 yards per carry. Look at the runs over 10 yards. I mean, they just pound on you, and they pound on you, and their whole philosophy is they want to wear you down and break your will. And they do that with their running game, and they do that with their defense and how physical they play.
Second down at 7. From the 31, trying to pressure A.J. McCarron. He's going to go deep. He's got a man out there, and Cooper's got it. All the way down to the 15-yard line.
This is a spectacular effort by Cooper. Prentice Wagner is not in bad position. It's man coverage, but watch Cooper go up and get the ball. Wagner had his eyes on the football, but Cooper stopped, went up and high-pointed the ball, and Wagner couldn't make the play. I mean, that is why they are so high on this young receiver, Amari Cooper, and his future at Alabama.
Career-long 54-yard catch for the young fella. He's already got 106 yards on 5 catches and a first down at the 15-yard line for Alabama. Now it's Lacy. Nice spin move. Cuts to the outside. Close, but not in. Eddie Lacy does that spin as good as anybody in the country, and he goes for 13 yards.
Yeah, Ladero McNeil is a freshman safety who is the guy who is the victim of the spin move. He lost contain. He wasn't prepared for that move that Eddie Lacy uses, and he uses it every game, at least a couple times, and he got to the edge and almost to the end zone.
A yard shy, but he stays in there as the tailback in the eye. First and goal, Alabama at the Tennessee 1. They fake it to Lacy. They throw wide open, touchdown. Michael Williams, the tight end. Twice tonight with McCarron with touchdown tosses where there was nobody around his receiver.
This is the most basic goal line offensive play that you run. I mean, every team has it when you get down into that area off of play action.
Shelley in for the point after. This time McCarron's hold is good and the kick is perfect.
Everybody has this play in their goal line offense. You're going to fake the power play. You're going to slip the fullback out on the front of the end zone and the tight end to the back of the end zone, and you just let your quarterback read it. They cover the fullback. They don't cover the tight end. Easy pitch and catch for A.J. McCarron.
2 touchdown tosses and still no interceptions on the season for number 10. 20-3. This is a dangerous time right now for Tennessee, Todd. They got to get something going.
Because Alabama will not take their foot off the power play. I mean, they will keep trying to thump you, and that's what they've done all season. And they are so efficient. They don't make mistakes. They play physical, and if you make mistakes or if you don't take care of the ball, they end up getting points out of it, and then they run you out of your own building.
Derek Dooley knows that, having worked with Nick Saban and under him at LSU and with the Miami Dolphins, and he told us that exact thing that Todd was saying earlier. He said they just keep banging you until they break your spirit, and they better hope, Tennessee, that their spirit isn't broken here with 7 minutes remaining in the first half. We have a lot of football left, but they need to get something going offensively. Foster set to kick. So far tonight, Cordero Patterson has not been a factor as a return man or as a receiver. He's got a shot at this one from the 7. Found a little avenue. Cordero Patterson cuts it outside. Across the 40. Midfield. He's got it in Alabama territory. So he does make an impact on that kick return. And that might help spark the Tennessee offense.
When he touches the football for Tennessee this year, good things happen. His ability to put his foot in the ground and make people miss is outstanding. And he does it about 3 times on this return. Just plants his foot and goes another direction. And now Tennessee with their best starting field position in Alabama territory.
Longest kickoff return allowed by Alabama this year. 45-yarder, as Todd said, in Tide territory at the 48. Back to the ground game, and that gets nothing from Marlon Lane. Even if Tennessee can get a field goal out of this drive, it would be big.
Yeah, you have to capitalize on the play by Patterson. I mean, again, you're playing the #1 team in the country. You've got your best field position. You've got to be able to somehow manufacture some points out of this possession.
It's a Dallas in as a wide receiver with Zach Rogers and Justin Hunter. Blitz coming on Bray. Goes quickly over the middle, and it's complete on the fly. Rivera, the tight end. Rivera, first and goal, Tennessee. 43 yards on the pass play.
Well, it's a hot read. Here's Rivera. As soon as this blitz comes, Tyler Bray knows it's a hot throw to the tight end. They vacate the middle, get the ball quickly, and then excellent running after the catch by Rivera.
First and goal, Volunteers at the Alabama 5. Alabama's got too many players on the field. The run is almost a touchdown. But again, flags are down. Alabama had one too many guys. Nico Johnson, I think, was a guy trying to get off the field.
Also a Tennessee lineman down at the end of the play. Zach Fulton, their starting right guard. One of the strengths of this team has been their offensive line, and all 5 guys have started every game and been healthy for every game. And Fulton's going to come out for a play.
Illegal participation on the defense. 12 men in the field. Half the distance to the goal. What's that?
There's Nico Johnson, the guy that was trying to get to the sideline. And as Fulton comes out, he's trying to get to the sideline as well. It's going to be first and goal at the 2.5.
Well, here comes in A.J. Johnson again into the game. Again, they don't have that power back. They don't have the thumper that they can turn and hand it to. So Jim Chaney is electing to go with Johnson as the Wildcat quarterback in this situation.
Again, the captain of the defense in there on offense. First and goal, Tennessee. Bartholomew, the fullback, is in front of him. That's where he's running. Johnson, touchdown. That was big with 5:32 remaining in the half.
I like his percentages too. 7 career carries now and 4 touchdowns. That's not bad.
Extra point not coming from Pilardi. They try to make it a 10-point game, and he does. And there's some joy in Neyland Stadium right now. And there's some fired up Volunteers.
Tyler Bray has had a rough night so far in the first half. He did a great job getting him down to this point. And then A.J. Johnson knows how to find the end zone.
Johnson airborne from 2 yards, and it's 20-10. So they did take advantage of Cordero Patterson's kickoff return. They go 48 yards in just 3 plays. Rivera, the tight end, with a big 43-yarder, and then A.J. did the rest. .5:32 till halftime. And right now we've got time for our trivia question. A.J. McCarron has a school record. 239 passes without an interception. Who holds the FBS record? 379 without a pick. We'll tell you before halftime. I'll give you a hint. He played in 2 different conferences as a quarterback. Is that a good hint?
Yeah, it is good.
Not bad. Velarde to kick. Milner and Cyrus Jones back deep. Jones takes it on the fly. Somehow didn't go out of bounds with his momentum, and now Jones going the other way, and he almost popped it out there. He gets out to the 29, maybe the 30-yard line. Well, you can get your NFL started off right. 10 o'clock Eastern, ESPN's Sunday NFL Countdown. Chris Berman and the gang with all the latest news and updates from stadiums around the league. At 11 Eastern on ESPN2, Robert Flores, Matthew Berry, and Tim Hasselbeck give you all the info you need to get your lineup set and give you an edge in your leagues with fantasy football now. A lot of Tennessee fans think it would be a fantasy if Tennessee could pull an upset over the #1 team in the country. Right now they're hanging with them here in the second quarter, 20-10.
They need Daniel McCullers, big number 98, to step up and make some plays on the inside now.
Straight drop for McCarron. Throws, crossing pattern. It's Cooper. Cooper broke a tackle, puts the brakes on, gets a first down, spins his way for 14 yards before Tennessee can finally bring him down.
Nick Saban thinks this guy's the best receiver they've had other than Julio Jones since he's been there. Not as big and physical as Julio, but very dynamic after the catch. See, they also had a freshman wide receiver, Chris Black from Jacksonville. They were very high on. They got hurt in August camp and is not going to play at all this year. But they thought those 2 guys would have a dynamic impact on the football team, on the passing game this year.
That guy, Led's got 120 yards on 6 receptions in the first half. First down at the 44. McCarron again to throw. Blitz coming. Stands in and now fires just to get rid of it. Throws it out of bounds. And as you said earlier, they still got the pedal to the metal here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, because A.J. McCarron has a great feel for the game. He's making good decisions. And so why not try? They got plenty of time to try to put more points on the board.
And all their timeouts. 4:37 remaining first half.
It was a nice job by Eddie Lacy picking up the blitz. The safety, Byron Moore, was coming on the blitz. Lacy picked him up, and McCarron had plenty of time, but just nowhere open to throw the football.
Blake Sims is going to take a direct snap. McCarron stays in there, but he's out as a wide receiver right now. On 2nd and 10, they fake the fly sweep. Sims works his way inside to the 48, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 5. And this will be the biggest play of the first half of the Tennessee defense upcoming. I'm not sure if Centimore, his helmet popped off. I guess so. He's coming to the sideline for a play at least. So is McCullers, the big guy that Todd was talking about.
One of the guys that has the ability to rush the passer for Tennessee is right here, Jaquez Smith. He's got a little burst.
3rd down and 6. McCarron throws, got his man on the run as Kenny Bell. Bell all the way down to the 24-yard line. So Alabama on 3rd down comes up big again.
Well, somehow this ended up a mismatch. A wide receiver, Kenny Bell, got matched up on A.J. Johnson, the linebacker. And that's no way Johnson's going to be able to stay up with a wide receiver on a quick crossing route like that. And again, A.J. McCarron, his feel for the game. He saw the matchup that he liked, got the ball to Bell, short pass, long gain after the catch.
Actually spotted just outside the 23 where it's 1st down. Alabama looking for more points with a 10-point lead here late in the second quarter. Back to the ground game to Lacey. Tough 2 yards. Byron Moore came around to make the stop from his safety spot.
Even though they've given up 20 points, this is definitely the best I've seen the Tennessee defense play. Fundamentally, against the run, they've been more solid in this ball game than any other SEC game. We were here for Florida, and the thing kind of fell apart on them in the fourth quarter. The Gators, 24 unanswered points. So far tonight, they've held their own a lot better.
Second down at 7. McCarron under center with Lacey behind him. Lacey somehow got about 4 yards out of that. Eric Gordon was hanging on for dear life. It looked like he was trying to ride a bucking bronco there. He does bring him down, but Lacey got good yardage. Here's another third down. Look what they've done inside the 20 of that red zone. 97%.
Look at big DJ Fluker, too, number 76. He is a devastating run blocker. He's yelling at them. He wants them to run the ball over him on the right side.
They're in a pistol set right here on third down and 3. Lacey behind McCarron. Fluker's going to get his wish. Tennessee's waiting for him. Big play by the defense. Going to force a field goal attempt.
Good penetration. Nowhere to cut back for Lacey. Watch the penetration inside. Salisbury, the first guy to change it up. Again, a redshirt freshman playing in the third down package. A little bigger body. Did a nice job getting into the backfield.
So this is going to be a 34-yard field goal attempt by Shelley. The hold is good. The kick is as well. But a victory of sorts for the Tennessee defense. They didn't want to give up a touchdown, but the lead goes back to 13. Before the kick, we've got time to give you the answer to our Aflac trivia question. All right. A.J. McCarron, 242 now without an interception. Who holds the all-time record, FBS record of 379 without an interception? I gave you a hint. 2 different conferences, ACC and Big Ten. Russell Wilson, now the starting quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. Did it at NC State, 379. That's a long time to go without turning the football over. And that guy just keeps on going as well.
Well, A.J. McCarron looks solid. I mean, he takes what the defense gives him. He doesn't force plays. He doesn't force bad throws. He makes good decisions. And right now for Tennessee, if you're Jim Chaney and Derek Dooley, I think you got to trust Tyler Bray to try to be aggressive here with 1:24. If you can get a first down, I think you got to try to score again, because remember, they won the opening toss and elected to receive.
Right.
So Alabama will get the ball to start the third quarter. I think Tennessee needs to try to be a little bit aggressive here, especially if they get a decent kickoff return again.
That's what they're hoping for, that Patterson can do what he did last time. Cade Foster has got it teed up. Don't forget, Brees, Lou, and Mark will have the halftime show coming up for you in 1:24 with all the scores and highlights. This will be returnable as well. Patterson camps under it at the 5. Heads to the far side, trying to get the corner. They got him bottled up. And he'll go down at the 23. Speaking of Reese Davis, here he is. Reese.
Brad, just a few minutes away from the Buick halftime report. There's been a power shift in the SEC East, but Georgia's not necessarily doing its part right now. They're trailing Kentucky. Heisman showdown, Geno Smith and Colin Klein is turning into a Heisman beatdown as the Mountaineers are taking it right in the kisser again. And the Irish remain perfect. Some might argue perfectly imperfect, though not the guy sitting in the cardigan right maybe off camera here.
All right, we'll see you guys in a minute or so. From the 22, Tyler Bray in the shotgun. Going to be a shovel pass to Lane. And he got 7 or 8.
When you run a 2-minute offense or a hurry-up offense that Tennessee's in, the key thing is getting that first down. That gives you a little breathing room and decides how aggressive you're going to be on this drive.
On 2nd and 3, they'll go right back to the same play. And Lane has the first down and a couple more.
Now you're under a minute. You have 2 timeouts. The clock stops while they move the chains. You get your play called at the line of scrimmage. And now you got a chance at the 34-yard line to maybe take a shot down the field.
And again, Justin Hunter not a factor so far tonight. Bray back to throw. In the pocket, pressured. Had to go over the middle again to Lane. As he's checked down and short gain there. Sinceri came up to make the hit. Time is winding down and the fans know that. They're making some noise. 27, 26, 2 timeouts remaining.
A little surprised they didn't take a timeout right there, especially since they have 2.
Finally, they get the snap with 19 seconds left. Bray going deep. Man out there is Hunter, and he dropped it. Would have been a first down at the 20.
Well, they felt coming in that the corner Dion Ballou falls asleep sometimes. Hunter runs by him. Got away with a little push off. He's got to come down with that. I mean, that puts him in scoring territory right now. He hasn't had a catch. He hasn't had a lot of balls thrown to him. But you know what? When the ball is thrown to you, you got to make the catch.
As you said, you got to come up with big plays. Your big-time players have to put on their big boy pants, and that time hit a big boy drop.
Yep.
Cost him in a big way. Now it's 3rd and 7 with 11 seconds remaining. Draw play. Oh, this is going to bring some boo birds out, I'm sure. Marlon Lane. The last play of the 2nd quarter. Fans not too happy. Alabama, #1 team in the country, on the road, trying to make it 6 straight wins over the Volunteers, and they're well on their way. 23-10 is our halftime score. We check in with Holly.
Well, Coach Saban, you've had some opportunities in the red zone. What do you have to do to be more effective and not settle for field goals down there?
Well, I think, we're running the ball fairly effectively, and we tried to check to a pass on the last one. We got stoned on when they blitzed us. So I just think we got to execute. I think we got to get the plays in faster so we can, do what we want to do. We got some checks built into it, but we haven't been able to get to them.
For the most part, your defense has held up, but a couple of long pass plays for Tennessee. What concerns you there?
Well, we just got to play them. I think if they make big plays on us, they got us in a mismatch with the safety on 84 and hit us on that one on a little pressure, and there was a pressure on this one. They threw a pop pass to the tight end. So, we just got to keep playing. They got good players. They're going to make some plays, but I just think we got to be more consistent in what we're doing.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Alabama's made more plays than Tennessee, and they got the halftime lead, 23-10 here in Knoxville. As we toss it to Reese, Lou, and Mark, the Buick halftime report. The SEC on ESPN. They haven't beaten the #1 team, Tennessee, since 1985. Their open tonight is their night. Play action. McCarron's going to take a shot to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown. Yeldon in, touchdown. Crimson Tide, a 1-yard plunge. They fake it to Lacey. They throw wide open, touchdown. Bartholomew, the fullback, is in front of it. That's where he's running. Johnson, touchdown. And we welcome you back to ESPN's College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton Hotels. Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, just about set to start the 3rd quarter. And the #1 team in the country leading the Volunteers 23-10. Brad Nessler, Todd Blackledge will check in with Holly in a second. Partner, about an hour and a half ago, we said you can't make mistakes against Alabama, and you have to take advantage of every opportunity they give you, and Tennessee hadn't done that.
No, they haven't, and Alabama is playing like we expect. Defensively, they make you earn everything. Offensively, 253 yards, good balance. They haven't had a turnover. They haven't given up a sack. And for Tennessee, we talked about their big-time players have to step up.
Right.
And Tyler Bray did not have a great first half, 8 of 16, threw a costly interception. Jim Chaney said the thing that he says to him all the time, you got to hang on to the rope.
That's right.
We got a piece of rope here. He's got to hang on to that for
grab
the full
that baby.
60 minutes. You know what? He's got to get Justin Hunter to grab onto this rope, too, because Justin Hunter did not make a catch in that first half of play.
And he had an opportunity on a long ball late in the 2nd quarter to give him a first down at the 20-yard line, and he dropped it. So let's see if Tennessee has a comeback in them here from a halftime deficit. But Alabama's going to get the ball first to start the third quarter.
Sorry.
Deep kick, and Miller won't bring it out. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, I caught up with Derek Dooley on the sidelines. He is on crutches, but he said, you know, we just hurt ourselves in that first half. Tyler Bray got a little bit rattled early. They got some hits on him. He said, we just have to do what we're capable of doing, and that's execute. If Tyler Bray can settle down a little bit, keep him clean, not have that Alabama defense on him, and execute the plays. He said Alabama's not doing anything different than we were prepared for and they're ready for. It's up to us. But, guys, I did hear him coaching the special teams unit, and I loved it. Even on crutches, he was firing them up. Said, all right, combine speed. I want us to be the best return unit in the SEC tonight. I want to see it combine speed. We'll see if that little pep talk helps on special teams.
All right, Holly, first down, Alabama to open the third quarter at the 25-yard line. Play action bootleg. McCarron throws quickly, got it to Jones, and Jones has a first down. Now he's a yard shy.
You know, they run the ball so well, and you have to play honest and respect their run, and that's one of the best things A.J. McCarron does, is fake the run the bootleg, and again, he makes good decisions. He doesn't try to force a big throw down the field, take the little short throw, make it second and short.
There's his numbers, pretty impressive, and again, 0 interceptions, not only on the night, on the season. Second down and a yard. Eddie Lacy on the stretch play, gets the yard, and gets about 5 more. The Darryl McNeil, the safety, made the stop. It would be huge if Tennessee could force a punt on the opening possession of this quarter, with Alabama having the football first and a 13-point lead. 2 tight end set this time for the Tide, both wide receivers to the near side. From the 39, play action again for McCarron. Deep down the middle, got his man on the run, Kevin Norwood. Norwood all the way to the 26-yard line.
See, one of the problems Tennessee has is some of their linebackers. Herman Lathers is a really good run linebacker, but he's not very fast. And so when he gets in this kind of coverage, he's beat right off the get-go. It's a wide receiver running against an inside linebacker. Lathers good against the run, not very good in that kind of a pass defense situation.
35-yard pickup to the 26. So McCarron over 200 yards passing with a couple of touchdowns. And the Tide on the move here to open the third quarter. Play action, turns, wants to go back to his left. This time he's going to go down. Darrington Centimore, who's been applying pressure tonight, guy that started his career at Alabama, comes up with a sack.
Well, he gets the pressure, and he does a nice job of not getting out of sorts. He keeps leverage, he keeps McCarron in his sights, and then he wraps him up.
This is something Alabama hasn't been in all night. Second down and 20. That's not their MO. It'll be an empty backfield with McCarron. 5-receiver group on second down at 20. Now Lacy comes and joins him in the backfield. And he's going to get the carry on a draw. Popped off the first guy, and he got it back to the 30, but it's still going to be third down and about 14. Tennessee, big play for their defense right here. Got them where they wanted them. Now they can't let them out of the 3rd and 14 hole here.
Got to be sound. Don't let them throw it over your head. If they make a catch in front of you, make a sure tackle.
McCarron, play fake, slip screen out to the wide receiver. It's Cooper, and Cooper runs by everybody. Touchdown.
There's a flag down. I think Tennessee was offsides on the play, and I think the result will be a touchdown for Alabama.
Illegal formation. 5 in the backfield.
Oh, wow. Erases a 30-yard touchdown pass.
Wow. Another break for Tennessee. I thought they were offsides. I thought they were lined up offsides. And we saw right there a short throw and bad tackling. There would have been a touchdown. And Tennessee caught a huge break.
So still 23-10. And it's still third down. Back at the 35-yard line. First penalty on the Alabama offense on the night. And it killed a touchdown.
I would rush 3 and drop 8 if I was Sal Sinceri here. Keep everything in front.
McCarron wants to throw a screen pass in the middle. Got it to Lacey. Tennessee's waiting for him now, and he'll only get to the 28-yard line. Willie Bohannon made the tackle, but that got him back into field goal range. So Shelley comes out. It's going to be about a 45-yard field goal attempt. It's Cade Foster, beg your pardon. Foster and Shelley both place kickers.
Foster gets all of the longer ones.
Yeah, he does.
Shelley gets the chip shots.
Foster's 4 out of 6 on the year, as long as 52. This is a 45-yard attempt. Foster's kick on the way, and it's no good. Wide left. Second time tonight, Tennessee's got life from a missed field goal. That's a big difference. No touchdown, no field goal. Tennessee ball on offense when we come back.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
Instead of a touchdown, a missed field goal, and the score remains the same.
Yeah, a costly mistake for Alabama. They've not made very many. In illegal formation, not enough guys in the line of scrimmage or too many guys in the backfield. Basically, one of these 2 wide receivers needed to be up on the line of scrimmage instead of both of them being off. That was what negated the play and took away the touchdown.
Would have been a 30-yard touchdown pass. Smokey saying, I like it. Now let's see if he likes his offense. They fake the toss and then they give it to Young. And Devin Young gets 4.
Tennessee's got a backup right guard in the game now, Alex Bullard, number 78. He's also wears number 89 and plays as an extra tight end or a huge tight end. But he's playing backup guard now because Zach Fulton is still out of the game with a leg injury.
Alton Howard is in there right now to take a direct snap, high snap. And Howard heading to the far side, runs right into the tackler, who ends up being D. Miller. So third down. Don't want to waste this opportunity after a missed field goal.
No, again, and this is where Tyler Bray, and I know that Derek Dooley said we got to keep him clean and take a little pressure off him, but you know what? Quarterbacks have to step up and make throws under pressure too, and this is a great time to do it right now.
Let's see if he can hang on to that rope that you were dangling there at halftime. Third down, long 3 in the shotgun. Bray waiting, had it batted at the line of scrimmage, and then he batted it down himself so it wouldn't be intercepted. Pretty sure it was Bray who batted his own tipped pass to get it out of everybody's hands.
Pretty good protection. I mean, they're bringing extra guys. He's got a decent pocket, and I think that's Hubbard, that tall, or was it Xavier Dixon, who was in there getting a hand on the football.
Smart play by Bray, though, to knock that thing down. It was open game right there. So it's a punting situation. Pilardi to kick. Cyrus Jones has had some nice returns.
Yeah, they got to cover this kick better.
This time they do the rugby style, and this one's going to bounce all the way down inside the 10. Good kick. I think they'll spot it right about at the 9-yard line. So that puts Alabama in a little bit of a hole for the first time tonight. 56-yard punt. Crimson Tide coming out on offense when we come back.
ESPN College Football Primetime, brought to you by Toyota Care, complimentary on every new Toyota, and the Dr. Pepper Tuition Giveaway. Learn more at drpepper.com.
Still 23-10 Alabama, 9:34 remaining in the third quarter. Game day next week. Next Saturday will be in Norman, Oklahoma. Notre Dame and Oklahoma next week. 9 a.m. on ESPNU, 10 a.m. on ESPN, built by the Home Depot. Alabama starting at the 9, their worst starting field position tonight. T.J. Yeldon in the backfield with McCarron. Clapping for the ball, not getting it. Finally does, and it will be Yeldon. And he's buried at the line of scrimmage.
Well, he's tackled by Kenny Bell, actually. I mean, his own wide receiver, Majid, I think, took Kenny Bell and threw him right into the backfield.
That's the case.
Yeah. Not sure who Kenny Bell was coming to block, but I'm sure he wasn't coming to make a tackle.
Second down and 10. Again, Alabama hasn't been in long yardage too much, but their last 2 series they have been. And Yeldon a couple yards. Whole swarm of Volunteers trying to bring him down, and finally he goes down. But he got it out to about the 11-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 8.
Well, the guy that Tennessee has had the most trouble covering in the ball game tonight has been Amari Cooper, number 9. 3rd down situation here.
3rd down and 8. There's Amari Cooper, over 100 yards in the first half alone receiving. Williams, a tight end, in there in the backfield to give McCarron a little extra protection. And he still is flushed from the pocket. McCarron directing traffic, and now he runs out of bounds at the 6.
I think it was Senimore again who beat DJ Fluker. Fluker is an outstanding run blocker, but he struggles sometimes in pass protection because he's not so quick. And Senimore beats him with a speed rush to the outside, forces McCarron out of the pocket, and McCarron has to just step out of bounds. Kid's playing a pretty inspired game tonight.
He really is. He's backing up his tweets, his Twitters, or whatever it was that he had this week. His comments about having started his career at Alabama. Everett Young should get good field position out of this Cody Mandel punt that's coming from deep in his own end zone. Nice kick, though. Young's got a backpedal to the 46 and goes straight ahead. And he got popped pretty good as he got to the 42, but that's excellent field position for Tennessee now. And again, the question, will they take advantage? So far, they haven't been able to. We'll find out. 7:29 remaining 3rd quarter. Tyler Bray and company when we come back. The SEC on ESPN. 95th meeting all time between Tennessee and Alabama here on the 3rd Saturday of October. And right now, the Tennessee offense needs to get in gear and play like they have the rest of the games this season instead of how they played so far tonight.
Yeah. Well, again, they're going against the #1 defense in the country in every major category. They make you earn every yard, but you know what? None of that matters right now because you have excellent field position, and a touchdown puts you and this crowd right back in the middle of the game.
Tyler Bray, 1st down, steps up in the pocket, and he's going long for Patterson. A little bit of contact back there with Dion Blue.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of contact. I'm a little surprised that didn't draw a flag.
Little hand fighting going on.
You know what? That's a good no call.
Yeah.
And there was a little mutual pushing and shoving. Well played by Blue, getting his head around and using his body to just kind of work Patterson away from the ball.
Patterson comes out. Vincent Dallas comes back in to take his spot, and now they go back to the ground game on Lane. Lane, tough run, might get 10 out of this. He's got 9, and it'll bring up 3rd down and a yard.
It's a good tough run by Lane and a good call by Jim Chaney. Alabama was going pressure from the outside. I think expecting a pass, they brought pressure from the outside. They go with an inside run, and Lane is able to scoot it real close to a 1st down.
3rd down and a yard. They bring in Bartholomew, the fullback. They bring in A.J. Johnson again.
Yeah, they call it the Beast package because his nickname is the Beast.
Remember, he got him a touchdown in the 2nd quarter. 3rd down and a yard. We have a timeout now. And we're counting bodies here.
Timeout, Tennessee. First timeout of the half.
Tennessee might have 12 guys on the field right now. I'm not quite sure, but they did get the timeout call. Big third down, though, coming up when we come back.
Reese Davis with you, keeping your finger on the primetime pulse on ESPN2. Mississippi State, which plays Alabama next week, up 24-3 on Middle Tennessee. On ABC, Miami holding on to the lead against Florida State. And Duke trying to move to the top of the ACC Coastal, up 20-9 on ESPNU against Carolina.
All right, Reese, Tennessee's changed up their offensive set here with Tyler Bray in a quarterback on third down in the yard. Play action. Bray loads, fires. Incomplete, intended for the tight end Rivera. And now it's 4th down and 1. I guess maybe they're thinking this 2-down territory anyway, huh? Take a shot.
They kept A.J. Johnson in and then faked it to him, and he did a nice job picking up the blitz. But Tyler Bray had nowhere to go with the football.
And now he does come out as a wide receiver. With Johnson in there, direct snap, the beast package on 4th down and 1. Straight ahead, he didn't get it unless he gets it on second effort, and he's not going to. Alabama will take over. Kirby Smart says that's the way we do it. Boy, another wasted opportunity by Tennessee. They started this drive in Alabama territory. They come up a yard short.
Well, Nico Johnson, Jesse Williams, he bottles it up. Lester, the safety, comes in. Wasn't even close. But, you know, not only do they waste the opportunity, they get rid of a timeout. They don't have a good play on third down. And then Alabama was ready for the Johnson run on 4th down. But credit that Alabama defense. They make you earn everything.
So Alabama takes over, first down at the 33. Leading still 23-10, same score we had at halftime. McCarron, short over the middle. Lacey makes the catch, immediately brought down by Herman Leathers. Coverage of Monday Night Football on ESPN, 6:30 Eastern. Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. At 8:30, NFC North rivalry renewed. Calvin Johnson and the Lions making their way to Soldier Field against Brandon Marshall and the Bears. Lions and Bears, Monday night, 8:30 Eastern on ESPN. Brad Nessler, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe, and our ESPN crew here at Neyland Stadium. Sellout crowd. Number 1 Alabama in town and leading the Volunteers 23-10. McCarron in the gun, gives it off to Lacey. Lacey trying to take it wide. Tennessee waiting for him. Good job by the Volunteers defense. McNeil and Johnson bring him down.
You know, really a nice play by Justin Coleman, the cornerback. He had contained. He was the guy who set the edge of the defense. He didn't get the tackle, but he maintained his position and forced Lacey back inside. That's good fundamental discipline by the Tennessee defense.
Tennessee's done a nice job now getting Alabama in some third down situations here in this quarter. And they're looking for another stop this time. Third down at 5. Norwood comes over and now settles in on the right-hand side. McCarron steps up, pressured again, throws back across his body. Lacey made a catch and a first down. Bobbled it about 3 times and still pulled it in, first down.
But how about the awareness of A.J. McCarron as the pocket is collapsing? I thought it was going to be a sack. And he has the awareness, watch at the very last minute, spot Lacey, his outlet, and just flicks the ball to him. He avoids the sack, but not only that, gets the first down.
So Eddie caught that one about 3 times and picks up a first down at the 45. 4.5 minutes remaining, third quarter. McCarron's hit his last 6 passes. He's mixed it up to a variety of guys tonight. Back to the ground to Lacey. And he pushes the pile for almost 5 more.
You know, we've seen Eddie Lacy, we've seen TJ Yeldon, and you see them rotate those backs, and you think, wow, they've got great depth at running back. But Alabama actually is down in their depth at running back. They've lost 2 this season. D. Hart was a guy who was in the rotation, and Jalston Fowler, who was kind of an all-purpose guy, ran running back, fullback, H-back. Both of those guys injured. out for the rest of the season, and so their depth is actually down a little bit, but Lacey and Yeldon a good 1-2 punch.
Second down, 5, right at the midfield stripe. That's the fullback, Kelly Johnson, who settles in to the left. That's where they'll run. Lacey cuts it back against the grain, spins his way again into the umpire and into 3 orange jerseys, but not before he got 8 yards.
We talked about stopping these guys' momentum. They weren't able to stop his momentum. He's able to make the spin, and out of the spin, he picks up about another 4 yards. See, he spins before contact. That's why guys miss him. A lot of times, guys do a spin after they feel contact, and you wrap him up. He goes ahead and starts that spin before you get to him.
Alabama's had the ball 12 minutes more than Tennessee. Again, grinding and grinding. That's how they beat you. They're grinding on this drive. McCarron, play action. Gonna go deep. Man out, there's Cooper. Got it! Touchdown! 42 yards. McCarron to Amari Cooper.
Justin Coleman fell down. I mean, he was in coverage. He was in decent position. McNeil, the safety, was coming over to help, but Coleman fell down.
So another big play by the freshman out of Miami. McCarron laid it out there, and Cooper went and got it. Shelley in for the point after. The lead swells to 30-10. How about those numbers? 7 for 162 and 2 touchdowns. Wow. 67-yard drive in 3.5 minutes. Alabama rolling by number 10's 3rd touchdown pass. Well, the trophy's still up for grabs. Second half of the chase is in Kansas. Brad Keselowski, Jimmy Johnson, Denny Hamlin still 1-2-3, but Clint Boyer has jumped to 4th with only 5 races left. Kansas next. NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Kansas presented by Dodge. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern, right here on ESPN. There's your top guys. There's the top guy. 7 catches, career high in receiving yardage, and now 2 touchdowns. And McCarron still perfect. 3 scoring tosses, no interceptions.
Coming into the game, 12 touchdown passes in 6 games. That's more than any Alabama quarterback in history to start the season. Well, he adds 3 more tonight. As you said, still no interceptions. I mean, just that's a guy who's on his game.
Meticulous with his play as he was with his attire entering the stadium tonight with the bow tie look. Cade Foster set to kick. Cordero Patterson would love to get his hands on one here, or at least his Tennessee teammates. Hope he can. He'll take it at the 2. Patterson puts his foot in the ground, got outside in the corner. 30, got by the kicker, cuts back inside, won't make the 40-yard line, but a good-looking return again. Before Tennessee snaps it on offense, let's check in with Reese.
Brad, time for a Dr. Pepper 10 conference update, and welcome to the Big 12, West Virginia. They're getting housed. Colin Klein, the Tyler Lockett. Klein's thrown for 323, only 2 incompletions, accounted for 7 touchdowns. It's 52-7, complete mismatch.
Wow, the bubble of West Virginia didn't just burst, it exploded the last 2 weeks, didn't it?
Kansas State is a lot like this Alabama team in the way they play.
Bray, play fake down the middle on a streak. It's finally Justin Hunter. Finally, number 11 gets it. And he takes it all the way down to the red zone. 44-yard pickup.
You know, the crazy thing is, I'm not sure if this pass was intended for Hunter or for Rodgers, but Hunter said, you know what, I'm getting one. I haven't gotten one yet tonight. He came into the game averaging 6 catches a game. That was his first, but it was a big one.
You're right, Zach Rodgers got leveled after he was reaching for the ball, and he had to come out, shake it up a little bit. Well, he stays in there now, but he got rattled. Tyler Bray went over and helped pick him up. First down, and it's Patterson with a direct snap. Flags are down. See if we have a holding call.
That almost has to be a hold. They're going to set him back.
Derek Dooley and Jim Chaney told us we got to get it in Cordell Patterson's hands however we can. Direct snap, handoff, sweeps, end arounds, throwing the ball to him. And they even thought about, after the call,
Holding, 85, offense, 10-yard penalty, previous spot, first down.
there was even a little bit of thought about starting Patterson at tailback there.
Yeah. Well, at least, you know, they put him in there and they pitched it to him. Remember, he fumbled it. He tried to look at the defense before looking the ball all the way in. But he is just so dynamic when the ball's in his hands. And you just have to find ways to get it to him.
Well, the line of scrimmage backed up to the 28 with that penalty. 1st and 20 there. Bray shovels it to Lane. Lane weaving his way on the inside, and he gets it down to the 22. So they got some of that penalty yardage back. We're down under 2 minutes. Tennessee needs touchdowns. Field goals don't do any good at this stage.
Well, they were down here the last possession and turned it over on downs, and Alabama promptly took it all the way down the field and added another touchdown.
3 wideouts. Bray in the pistol set here. Play action. Loads. Fires deep. Got a man. Intercepted in the end zone by Alabama's Robert Lester. Looked like he had a guy open for a moment, but the throw was too late. And the safety, the senior out of Foley, Alabama, with a big play.
Well, the throw was a little late, but the throw was also behind the intended receiver, Howard. If he throws it away from Lester, the safety can't get under and make the play. See how Howard had to stop and reach back for the ball? That enabled Lester to come right under and make the interception. If he throws it away from the defense, it might be a touchdown for Tennessee.
Good call, partner. 2nd interception of the year for Lester.
That's the one area. Again, the defensive numbers very similar to last year. They don't have the same dynamic first-round type players, but boy, have they forced turnovers this year.
Lester with his 12th career interception. Now Alabama with Yeldon in there at tailback, picking up a couple of tough yards as we're down to the final minute of the 3rd quarter. Again, an opportunity that went awry for Tennessee.
Tyler Bray has thrown 9 interceptions now on the season, and 8 of them have been against SEC defenses. Just, it's a little different deal. I mean, that he had a guy open, he had a window, the ball was a little bit behind, and the penalty for that was an interception.
Yeldon up the middle, first down and more. Blasts his way out to the 36-yard line. A 13-yard pickup. Well, it might be final play of the quarter. You take out Lacey, you put in Yeldon. You take out a 220-pound guy, you put in one that's 216 and faster.
And they both run. They run big too. You know, they just aren't big in stature. They run in a physical way as well.
Alabama players already holding up 4 fingers, as are their fans that made the trip to Knoxville. We played 3 quarters. The record's still perfect for Alabama. 15 minutes from now, if they hold on, they've got command at the end of 3. Set to start the 4th quarter. Alabama leading 30-10. A.J. McCarron almost perfect tonight. 3 touchdown passes, no interceptions. Amari Cooper, his big receiver, 7 for 162. Tyler Bray's had a tough night, under 50% of his throws and 2 interceptions, which means Alabama right now is plus 15 on the year in the turnover margin, and that's best in the country. And that's how you beat a whole bunch of people, as they have done 10 straight games, trying to make it 11 in a row and stay perfect at 7-0, 4-0 in conference play. They're a quarter away from it as Yeldon takes the inside handoff, and he goes for about 7 yards.
I made the comment after we had the highlight from Reese of Kansas State dismantling West Virginia that they remind me of Alabama. And you know, Bill Snyder, similar to Nick Saban, has teams that are fundamentally sound. They don't beat themselves. They make you earn everything. They play physical. And over the course of 4 quarters, that style that Alabama plays and Kansas State. Now, Kansas State doesn't have the same talent level, I don't think, as Alabama, but it just squashes you. It crushes your spirit. It breaks your will. And it's hard to beat them.
Demoralizing for sure. Yeldon dances into the hole, dances away from would-be tacklers, and he's all the way down near the 40-yard line. Boy, and there you were talking about Nick telling you about quick feet in the hole.
Yeah.
How about that little dance?
Well, he's a big back, you know, at 6'2", 216 pounds, but he has very quick feet and can make people miss, which is rare for a guy who runs that straight up and is straight ahead speed.
Kind of scary to think about how good he might be down the line. He's already pretty good. 84 yards on 13 carries. And Lacey 64 more on 15. First down at the 41. He'll get it again. This time only about a yard. Well, it might get 2 out of it. A.J. Johnson's holding on for dear life. They have a hard time bringing this guy down, too.
I think the encouraging thing for Alabama tonight, as this game moves on in the 4th quarter, is their passing game. Now, Doug Nussmeier said, you know, offensively, we know we can run, and we've run well. Our offensive lines play great. Our backs run hard. We have to develop more continuity in our passing game, more consistency. And, boy, they've shown that tonight. A.J. McCarron has been sharp. He's been right on point and efficient. And they've got a rising star in Amari Cooper.
Do they ever? Second down at 8. Lacey's back in there at tailback. They fake it to him. McCarron throws on a run. Got a wide open guy on the sideline. Kenny Bell. Bell rings up another touchdown. Unless he stepped out, he didn't. Touchdown, Alabama.
Well, how was Kenny Bell wide open? I mean, there was nobody around him. I mean, there was a corner blitz. The safety didn't come over. Kenny Bell standing out there waiting for the football. Where was the safety, Byron Moore? If the corner's blitzing, somebody has to cover up for him.
Now the Tide rolling to what will be their 7th straight win of the year.
I'm really impressed with A.J. McCarron's vision. I mean, he really sees the field and feels the game.
Shelley's extra point makes it 37-10. And A.J. McCarron, 4 touchdown passes on the night. You can't get a quarterback rating much higher than what he's putting together at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville tonight. Number 1 Alabama rolling on Tennessee. As we cue our BCS music, we take a look at this week's BCS standings brought to you by Tostitos. Alabama about to be 7-0. Florida already is. Oregon is as well. Kansas State en route. Notre Dame still perfect. They're your top 5. I'm more concerned, I think, with who's on top of the ledge. Well, we're going to do that in a second.
Yeah, I think we are. I think we are.
A.J. McCarron, career high, 306 passing yards. A career-tying 4 touchdown nights. Almost perfect. Cade Foster sent the kick. Patterson and Young await. And this one won't be returned. They'll bring it out to the 25 with 12:46 remaining in the 4th quarter. Alabama well on their way. You have them number 1, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
In fact, my top 5 is exactly like the BCS top 5 right now. I think Alabama's 1. I think Florida just continues to get better. And 2, Oregon, you know, I love their offense. I still think if they play a team, which I don't know if they'll see one in the Pac-12, but if they play a team that has a dominant type of defensive line, I'm not sure they score as much as they do against everyone else. And then Kansas State and Notre Dame round that out. And next week will be interesting with Notre Dame traveling to Oklahoma, because I think the Sooners are real close on the heels of the top 5.
And on that top of the ledge, in that top 5, but living on the edge is Notre Dame right now.
And we saw Oklahoma, and I was very impressed with them. I mean, Alabama is the best that I've seen, but Oklahoma is a really good football team.
If they play like they did against Texas, they can beat anybody, I think. Oh, it's an awkward landing. It's a good thing that Justin Hunter's so limber. He sort of did a splits at the end of that catch. And obviously time is of the essence here for the Volunteers, and they're going without a huddle and trying to hurry things up, trailing by 27 with 12 minutes left. Second down and a yard. They get the yard. Marlon Lane gets 10 or 12 more as we check in with Holly.
Well, guys, a very unusual night tonight. The defensive coordinator for Tennessee, Sal Sunseri, having to coach against his son, Vinny, number 3, who's playing defense for Alabama. As you can imagine, it's been a pretty emotional week. They talked on Sunday, but they hadn't seen each other until a beautiful hug in the pregame that kind of choked us all up. A big hug from one dad to his son. And Todd, you've had a similar experience. This couldn't have been easy for either family member tonight.
No, it isn't. I mean, when I was in the NFL with the Chiefs, my first start in the NFL was in Pittsburgh against the Steelers. My dad was the offensive line coach for the Steelers. Once the game started, coach and player kind of lock in and focus. It's toughest on the mom. That's who has the hard time.
In this case, Roxanne Sunseri. Pass intended for Cordero Patterson, incomplete. Yeah, and Sal was telling us if they had to play Pittsburgh, it'd be even worse because his son is the quarterback for the Panthers, and he said if we had got together with him in a bowl game, I don't know if I could do it, because then you're directly going against what your son's trying to do. Here's what Holly was talking about before the game. Vinny trotting over. Hey, Pops. That's nice. And loss from Marlon Lane, and Sunseri right on cue. Vinny with the tackle for loss.
Vinny Sunseri is a really good football player. He's kind of a reckless guy. I mean, he throws his body around. He's not a very big safety, but he throws his body around. He likes to stick his nose in there and tackle.
That's what his dad said. The one thing I worry about, not who Alabama's playing, but whether or not he's healthy when the game's over. Tennessee's missed on their last 6 third downs, and they need a whole bunch here. Crossing route. Hunter puts the brakes on, trying to get extra yardage, but he's not going to get the 15 they needed. And it'll bring up 4th down at about 8.
You know, when I watch this Alabama defense this season, I mean, they are very good. They don't have first-round draft pick talent. C.J. Mosley's the best player on that defense. They have guys who will play in the NFL, just maybe not first-round guys. The one thing I think the defense is lacking, though, is a premier pass rusher in their front 4. They don't have that.
4th down. Bray throws it behind Patterson and tipped. And D. Miller, I think it hit him right in the face almost. So Alabama's going to take over on downs. 10-28. Tennessee down by 27.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Hampton Hotels. Feel the Hamptonality. And in part by the Buick Verano. Unexpected luxury in a car this size.
World's Fair Tower there in the backdrop in Knoxville. Neyland Stadium, about the 2nd tallest thing in town. Quarterback comparison really hasn't been one tonight.
No, A.J. McCarron has been so efficient. You know, they didn't run the ball as easily as they have against everyone else, but he has taken advantage of Tennessee's commitment to stop the run, and he has really hurt him with the passing game.
He's hit his last 8 passes. They don't have to pass too much more if they can ground out the next 10.5 minutes, which is what they'll try to do with Eddie Lacy here. And Lacy gets into the 2nd level, almost got a 1st down. 9 yards on the run. A.J. McCarron, as I said, when he came in, he was looking pretty sharp with a bow tie, and then he just got sharper. Wide open. That was the first of Cooper's 2. There's Williams, the tight end. Then the long ball. Cooper again on the receiving end. And he added one more for his 4th touchdown pass of the night.
You know, it's amazing to think at the beginning of last year, he was splitting time with Phillip Sims. He hadn't really established himself as the starting quarterback. Then he became the starter at Penn State and kind of solidified things there. Played the whole game. and then played brilliantly in the championship game win over LSU. And he's just built on that. He's just gotten better and better every time out.
Let's check in with Reese Davis.
All right, Brad, 3 undefeated teams in the Big East. One of them Cincinnati, taking on Toledo on the road. This is the Rockets' Bernard Reedy. Time to launch. Going the other way with a kickoff, and Toledo, with just under 12 minutes to go, with a 26-20 lead over the Bearcats from the Big East.
Here in the SEC on ESPN, it's the top team in the SEC showing why they are, again, 37-10. The defending national champions and about to be 7-0, 4-0 in conference play. And they're not going to lose any style points in the BCS standings, you can bet, with this performance tonight. And here goes Yeldon down the sideline. He is gone. T.J. Yeldon, touchdown, 43 yards.
Well, fatigued Tennessee defense. They haven't gotten outflanked much the entire game, but watch these guys get sucked inside, and Yeldon takes it outside. Too easy to get the edge. Nice block by Kenny Bell, and that's all that Yeldon needed.
So the numbers continue to pile up for the freshman. 129 yards now on the night, and a 43-yard touchdown there. Shelley's extra point is good. And with a little over 9 minutes remaining, Alabama, we said coming in, they average beating people up by about 33 points a game. Guess what? They're up 34 right now. ESPN College Football is available anytime, anywhere on your computer or mobile device via WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. Here in the fourth quarter, let's take a look at tonight's Good Hands play, brought to you by Allstate. Really the last decent chance Tennessee had of getting back in the ballgame. Robert Lester with the interception, his 12th career INT in the end zone. That stopped any threat by Tennessee. And then Alabama just took it down the length of the field, and T.J. Yeldon took it 43 yards for the touchdown.
You know, Nick Saban, what he tries to stress to his team, he wants them to always be a team that plays physical and discipline, and teams don't want to play them anymore. And this is a typical Alabama game. They wear you down, and they break your will, and they don't make mistakes. And if you make mistakes, they capitalize.
Next week, Alabama will be back home. They'll take on Mississippi State, the Bulldogs, who came into the weekend undefeated as well. And we'll be there to see Alabama and bring that one to you.
Their schedule gets interesting. They've got some tough challenges. We talked about they hadn't faced a great offense until tonight, the best offense they would face. Tyler Russell, the quarterback at Mississippi State, playing about as well as anybody in the conference. LSU can run the football. They can match physically with Alabama. And then Texas A&M, Johnny Manziel, kind of a different type of quarterback.
We have a different quarterback in for Tennessee, Justin Worley. And Deborah Young on the carry around the corner. Got close to the first down before he's run out of bounds. Right in front of the Alabama defensive coordinator, whose defense has done another great job tonight. There's Worley. His numbers on the season, hasn't played a lot.
You have a difficult time beating Alabama if you don't get dynamic plays, big chunk yardage plays during the course of the game, because they're too good defensively and too fundamentally sound that you're not going to put together 12, 13, 14 play drives and have long scoring drives. They just don't allow that. You have to hit them with some big plays, and the only time Tennessee did score tonight, it was because they were able to create a couple plays.
We saw Derek Dooley again on the sideline following that hip surgery. Derek's still not 100% sure. I said to him, how the heck do you not know that you have a broken hip? And he said it was something that gradually got worse. He thinks he did it water skiing over the summer, and it progressively got worse and worse. And now they put 3 screws in the hip, and his doctors told him it's a good thing he had it done because it could shatter at any time. And now it's got the stability in there. And he's been walking the sideline there with the crutches, and at times they slide a stool underneath him when he needs to take a quick break and get off his feet. Howard in there now is going to take the direct snap, the freshman. Again, a high snap. He's not the biggest guy in the world. Maybe that's why the snaps are high. He's only about 5'8", but that goes nowhere. Maybe a yard.
Kirby Smart still over there coaching him up every play. Again, the trademark of the Alabama defense is they try to stop every play. They don't concede a single play during the course of a game. Tennessee sitting right now at 261 yards of total offense. They do a great job in Nick Saban's tenure at Alabama. Over 62% of the games, they've held the opponent under 300 yards of total offense.
Worley lobs one out. One-handed catch by Young. Sort of snatched that one and didn't get anything on the play anyway. Got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. So they're going to have to punt it away as we're down near the 7-minute mark. And a long dry spell for Tennessee since they beat a ranked team. And it's been since 1985 since they've beaten a #1 team, and tonight was not the night either. Velarde, knuckleball punt, going to be taken on a hop and drops, but covered by Alabama. Milner got down there to cover it. And the Tide will take over with just 6.5 minutes to try to salt away another win. 44-10, Alabama. Beautiful night on the banks of the river here at Neyland Stadium. Not so pretty if you're a Vol fan, though. 44-10.
Well, the Alabama offensive line, we said they were the best in the country. More known as a run-blocking team, but Tennessee selling out to stop the run. They started out throwing, McCarron over 300 yards passing, and then the running game. As the game wears on, it starts to take its toll on a Tennessee defense that's been on the field for a while. And you got the two backs running behind a huge offensive line. The guards do a great job of getting to the second level. They have a super leader in the middle and Barrett Jones at the center. And the starters getting a much-needed break now.
Yep. Kenyon Drake gets the carry, his first of the night, as we check in with Holly.
Well, Alabama's center, Barrett Jones, is one of those rare kids you run across in college football that you just cannot say enough about. He's played every position on the offensive line, but more importantly is what kind of kid he is off the field. He's from Tennessee. He's playing in front of his friends and family tonight. And he's now a senior finalist for the Lowe's Senior Class Award after 2 mission trips to Haiti. He's just a remarkable kid, guys. A violinist. He does it all for Alabama.
And now playing that center spot, and that'll make him even more viable when he goes to the next level to play in the National Football League. Sims fumbled the ball, and Tennessee recovers. Dontavius Sapp with the fumble recovery, so Tennessee will take over. First mistake of the night, turnover-wise for, and as Todd said, it's the backup guys. Kind of riding his tail back there, and then couldn't hang on to the ball.
He's got his eyes on the end, trying to read the play, and he holds it in there as long as he can, and he just held it in a little too long.
So Tennessee takes over with just under 6 minutes remaining, and a first down at the Alabama 24-yard line. Worley hands off to Lane. He's run hard tonight.
Yep.
One guy you got to give some credit to. Got down to the 20 on that carry. 8th-ranked Oregon State up next against Utah. 10:30 Eastern time.
We'd love to see that. Mike Riley, I think, is one of the real good guys in college football. Kind of does it under the radar. You know, everybody talks about Oregon and Eugene, but Mike Riley has done a really nice job in Corvallis as well.
Brendan Downs on the pass from Worley gets it down to 1st and goal. So the second-string tight end sets him up at the 5-yard line. And now back to Lane. Lane with a stiff arm. Got a yard or 2. Tyler Hayes and a lot of the backup defensive players in there for Alabama right now getting some work at the 5-minute mark.
You know, coming into the game, Alabama giving up only an average of 7.5 points a game. The team that finished #1 in the country last year finished the year giving up 8.8 points per game. And this year, I think more touchdowns that have been given up have been scored on the backups than the starters. I think the starters have only given up 3, maybe 4 touchdowns.
Lane to the line of scrimmage and no further. Reggie Ragland, inside linebacker, made the stop. Benny Sinceri over there on the sideline cheerleading, saying, don't give them any more points or don't give them a touchdown. It's 3rd down and goal.
They have all bought into this fourth quarter mentality. Scott Cochran, their strength and conditioning coach that Nick Saban hired, that's the name of their offseason program, and they really believe in it, that's when they show their dominance in the fourth quarter.
Worley to the end zone, incomplete. And it'll be 4th down and goal.
Here's Cochran. During the fourth quarter of every game, he has both hands up in the forefinger, and he screams the entire game. He screams nonstop. He screams on the practice field. He screams on the game field. He's the get-back coach now, too. But as soon as the play starts, those 4 fingers go up, and the screaming starts.
The get-back coach.
Yeah.
Everybody get back. 21-yard field goal just to try to make the score look a little bit better here. Velarde, and he's got it. So they don't give up the touchdown after the fumble, but just the field goal that makes it look a little more respectable on the board with 3:57. BCS Countdown is on ESPN and ESPNU tomorrow. A day after the dust is settled, our analysts will break down the big wins and the losses that took place and what it means for the BCS standings. Who's going to rise, who's going to fall. Plus, we'll look ahead to the key matchups for next week. BCS Countdown presented by Tostitos. It's tomorrow at 8:30 on ESPN and then 9 Eastern on ESPNU.
We talked about Alabama on the west side of the SEC ledger with a huge game at home against Mississippi State. Of course, Florida, the team that's leading the way in the East, with a big game down in Jacksonville against Georgia next week.
Yep. Georgia, I don't know if they're doing their part or not against Kentucky by beating South Carolina. Florida has given Georgia the opportunity to work their way back around to the top if they could upset the Gators, which is always a tough chore for them in Jacksonville. A.J. McCarron, boy, talking about going on the road and having yourself a night. 4th quarterback in Alabama history with 300 passing yards and 4 touchdowns in a game, and there have been obviously some pretty good ones that have played there.
He is definitely the beneficiary of a great offensive line and an outstanding running game, but he is an efficient passing quarterback as well.
Kickoff high and short, fair catch that if you choose, but it's taken by one of the up men. And taken out to the 32-yard line as we check in with Reese.
Brad, I'm glad you asked about Georgia. I'm here to serve. Georgia and Kentucky, 22-17, about halfway through the fourth quarter. This probably will take care of it. Aaron Murray to Arthur Lynch, 29-17, only a 12-point edge. Murray's thrown for more than 4 bills. And Florida State getting much more than anticipated from the Hurricanes' 3-point game on ABC at the half.
All right, Reese, thanks. So Georgia is getting their business done against Kentucky. I kind of teased you with that. A.J. McCarron, only the 4th quarterback in Alabama history with 304 touchdowns. The other ones, by the way, John Parker Wilson, Gary Hollingsworth, and Mike Shula. On the run is Drake. Run out of bounds by Coleman. Alabama, the leaders tonight. Amari Cooper coming of age. Every game gets better, and he was huge tonight. 162 yards and 7 catches and 2 touchdowns. Yeldon 129, and he didn't even start the game. Kind of like Todd said last week. Eddie Lacy had 170 plus, and he had 140 plus, and tonight he takes the lead by having the bigger night. And now the 3rd guy in the rotation, Kenyon Drake, a freshman out of Powder Springs, Georgia, getting some work here in the final minutes.
And the go.
So now the question becomes if Mississippi State can be the team to detour Alabama's path to the SEC title game and beyond.
Well, I think it's important also. We talked about a couple of the injured backs that Alabama has already gone through, and as they go through this difficult part of their schedule, keeping Lacey and Yeldon healthy is going to be critical. Now, Lacey has had some injury problems. He had a toe injury last year, missed some time, had surgery in the offseason, was a little bit slow coming back to camp because of the toe surgery, had a hamstring injury early in the season. Healthy right now, but they need to keep him healthy to make another run at things.
Another tough run, 10 yards for Drake as we check in with Holly.
You guys, in this game alone, Eddie Lacy was on the bike, keeping that ankle. He's got some heavy tape and an extra little brace on his right ankle. It's an injury he suffered early in fall camp. He's been limping on it a little bit on the sideline, but he kept powering through it and going in the game, so he's gutting it out. TJ Yeldon got dinged, had a little cut on his eyebrow, but they're good. But guys, they're trying to run tough despite those little nagging injuries.
Now Alabama using all of the play clock possible before taking the snap. Just to try to work down this last couple minutes before they go back to Tuscaloosa with their 6th straight win over the Volunteers of Tennessee. And one of the best recruiting classes in the nation, John Calipari has again. The Wildcats reloaded, ready to defend their national championship. You don't want to miss our exclusive multi-part series coverage of one of the top basketball programs in the country. Kentucky All Access, Wednesdays at 7 Eastern on ESPN. I saw part of it the other night. It's excellent.
Yeah. You know, people say what they want to say about him, you know, and his recruiting and the one-and-done guys, but the guy can coach, because when you watch that team play last year, how unselfish he got all those guys to buy in and play that way was incredible.
And to play defense as freshmen. Yeah. Final minutes. Brent Callaway getting the carry. So Alabama right pretty much on schedule. Came in averaging 40.5 points a game and only giving up 7.5. So that's a 33-point difference. And tonight they're going to win by 31 after a couple more snaps.
They are efficient. They are physical. They're methodical. They don't make mistakes, and they painfully punish you when you make mistakes.
And you know what Nick will say when it's all over? I don't like the fact that Sims dropped that ball riding his tailback. They got to fix that.
Yeah. They're only plus 14 again on the turnover margin.
Exactly. And now Callaway goes out of bounds, or did he not? No, I guess not. That's going to do it. So Alabama wins its 11th straight dating back to last year. They're still perfect. They're still number 1. They're 7-0, 4-0 in SEC play as they roll again on the road over the Volunteers of Tennessee. 44-13 the final. Coming up next on SportsCenter, Linda Cohn, John Bidgergrass. They'll have all the updates from around the league. Brad Nessler for Todd Blackledge and Holly Rose. So long from Knoxville.